let's go to the new cards PogChamp. Where's the Wolves map? Sorry, no Wolves map. My bad. All right. 3, 2, 1. So we've got so much to talk about relative to this. Let's begin with a really boring one. Sky Striker Ace artwork for reinforcement of the army. I'm glad we have the Josh viewers here to say, oh my god, I love Ray. I would die for Ray, you know, etc., etc. It's a Rhoda, but it's got Ray on it. Because like I do like this one because it does a good job of showing what's happened to Yu-Gi-Oh! Right? Old Rhoda, you have nondescript like warrior man, just like wah, you know, on Rhoda. And it's like, no, the game isn't about that anymore. It's about anime girls. And so now we have anime girls on our Rhoda, right? We should get an anime girl version of this guy. I think he deserves it. Next up, Promotion Pack 2024. All right, so this comes with a card called Quartet Wonky. She be wonking my quartet. No, wait. Yeah, that's probably as good as it's going to get. 2+ level 4 monsters. 1, unaffected by their card's effects. Okay, horrifying. If this card is disease summoned or once per turn during your standby phase, attach the top 3 cards of your deck to this card as material. Then apply this effect based on the number of monsters it has as material, 4 or more. Give control of this card to your opponent. 5 or more, take 400 damage for each material currently attached to this card, and if you do, destroy all monsters you control. This is funny. It's a fun little hot potato card. I like that they keep making these. I really hope that none of them are ever playable in any sort of capacity. It is not a time card. I don't think it is a time card, unless you can on your turn get 5 monsters attached to it. Life hack. Epic life hack. Did you know that if you eat enough ibuprofen, you don't have to worry about life? You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. 1. Target a face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. Its attack becomes your opponent's current life points. Also, any damage they take is halved. 2. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard. Target face-up monster on the field until the end of this turn. Its attack becomes your current life points. Also, any damage your opponent takes is halved. They are really pushing the limits as to what they are allowed to print on a card that changes attack and defense values. This is probably okay. I don't think there's going to be a position where this is going to be an issue. I think because the battle phase works the way it does in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the battle phase is either a mechanism by which you can convert monsters into removal spells, or it is a foregone conclusion. It's just a thing that happens where you've already won the game. It's not going to matter. But it is funny to think that, oh, you can modulate a monster's attack to be 8,000, and then your opponent takes 4,000 off the hit. I have to ask, how does this work if you activate both effects? Does it have and then have again? Does it stack with stuff like Prosperity? Could I do 1/8 damage to my opponent? No. Chat is saying 8K Lyralisk, which seems like the most annoying thing you can do with this, right? $8K Apo? Well, until the end of the turn. So you get like 4 negates, but then it just chills, right? Now I got to ask you the question. At the end of the turn, what attack value does the Apo go to? Zero. Seeing a lot of zeros. I don't know if that's true. Maybe it doesn't. Heaps of Beasts. Change all monsters on the field that were normal or special summoned this turn to defense position. Neither players can declare an attack with a monster normal summoned or special summoned this turn while they control a defense position monster. It's a weird card. This one I think is actually just bad. I think this card's just terrible. like bad threatening roar, right? Insane card for playoff season 2. Exactly. All right, next up. Okay, so we'll do the one more singular card, and then we'll do the archetypes. Dragon Magia Master, Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon, and a Chaos or BLS Ritual Monster. I hope that means a Chaos Ritual Monster or a BLS Ritual Monster. Must be fusion summoned. 1. Bat. 2. When your opponent activates a card or effect, you can negate the activation if you do destroy that card. You can only activate this effect at the card's name in response to each card type. Monster, spell, trap, once per turn. They got to think of a better word for this than type, because type, like a card type, already refers to like warrior. If this face-up card leaves the field by your opponent, it floats into anything. Whatever. This would be a little bit of a more interesting card if it had one material that was good, but as is, it doesn't. A lot of these cards, it's like, okay, well, you can always cheat out half of a fusion with something like Prisma or King of the Swamp. But I think the best way to make this is, what, Illusion of Chaos, King of the Swamp? Ugh. I don't think that's good. People were talking about Muddy plus Illusion. That's gross. Like, I feel like this is going to compete with Dragoon in all of those scenarios, and if it does, that's not good because it's so much easier to make Dragoon. The best way is using Chaos Max and 3 Blue Eyes. Stop saying Chaos Max. He's not playing it. Ultimate Fusion. I guess I've never read the Blue Eyes Fusion card. What is that called? Oh, no, I've read this card. Yeah, this card doesn't do anything. Another quick play fusion spell that says during the main phase. They're so scared of battle. They're so scared of battle. Prisma and King of the Swamp. I think you can't do that. Doesn't one of those say the other material has to be the right one? Blue Eyes Fusion. It's Red Eyes Fusion, but for Blue Eyes. Oh. This is not a real card. You're showing me a fan-made card. Hey, I found this card that's crazy in this deck. I bet. All right. Let's get on to what I know you all really care about. Rediscover the Lost Millennium with new ancient gear. So I'm really excited for this. This is the second time they're trying to make ancient gear playable. Ancient gear has a lot of cards that are okay. The problem is that most of their cards are dog shit. A couple of the cards, theoretically could be good. Ancient Gear Box searches almost anything in the archetype. Ancient Gear Fusion is kind of a good card. But let's just see if any of these change the math. Ancient Gear Dark Golem. This card's name becomes Ancient Gear Golem while on the field or in the graveyard. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can activate this effect. You can't set cards for the rest of the turn. Oh, good. That's the Ancient Gear Wyvern restriction. So we're just templating that now. Add 2 Ancient Gear cards or Gear Town from your deck to your hand except Dark Golem, then discard a card. Wow, this would go crazy if the monster moves positions rulings were the same way they were in 2019. If this card attacks, your opponent cannot activate spell trap cards till the end of the damage step. I mean, this card's crazy. It adds 3 cards from your deck to your hand, and then you discard 1. That's nuts. Next up, Ancient Gear Tanker. If this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon an Ancient Gear monster from your hand, ignoring its summoning conditions, or if your opponent controls a monster, your graveyard. You can target a face-up card you could control, destroy it, and if you do for the rest of the turn, all monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it gain 600 attack. Uh-oh. I hope this isn't the type of card that they're giving them, because this is not a very good card. Ancient Gear Commander. Man, this just looks like an old-school Yu-Gi-Oh card. I love it. You can send an Ancient Gear Golem from your hand, deck, or face-up field to the graveyard. Normal summon an Ancient Gear monster. All right, well, that's pretty good. If you normal or special summon an Ancient Gear Golem, you can special summon an Ancient Gear Golem from your hand or graveyard, ignoring its summoning conditions. You can banish this card from your graveyard. Place an Ancient Gear continuous trap from your hand face up on the field. Okay. I'm getting a little upset. When this card resolves, you can add an Ancient Gear spell trap from your deck to your hand, except Ancient Gear Advance. Whoa, we have the Drill Searcher. Not that it matters. Once per turn, you contribute a monster, draw a card, and if you do until the end of the turn, you can normal summon level 5 or higher monsters that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it without tributing. Okay, I mean, this is a good card. Ancient Gear Duel. Monsters you control that are Ancient Gear Golem or mention it are unaffected by your opponent's activated monster effects. Okay, that's crazy. If your opponent controls a monster, you can fusion summon a fusion that mentions Ancient Gear Golem by banishing materials from your hand or graveyard, including an Ancient Gear Golem you control. Alright. No. Okay. Well, these aren't going to resolve the outstanding problems with Ancient Gear. Advance is really cool. You know, I like this card. But, no, these are not going to fix it. Dark Golem makes AGF use materials from deck. Okay. All the Ancient Gear Golems make AGF use materials from deck. How are you getting this guy on the field? I do appreciate that this card is an Ancient Gear Golem that can be special summoned. So, like, the theory is you can use Ancient Gear Commander to special summon him from the graveyard. Or, like, you can use Tanker to bring him back from the graveyard. Ugh. It's not good. I'm describing it, but no, it's not good. Can you use Gear Town to cheat him out? You can. Ugh. It's so frustrating because I don't know why it says it, but if they just changed Ancient Gear Golem to not say... Like, I don't know why Ancient Gear Golem can't be special summoned. There's no reason it can't be special summoned. But for some reason, that line of text has weaseled its way onto enough cards in this archetype that it has prevented Konami from doing anything even remotely good or interesting with it. GX problems? I guess. I suppose so. Wyvern into Advance, into Catapult, into Dark. I mean, okay. That's like a cool one-card combo that ends on this guy. Catapult requires no monsters. Well, you'd pop it with the Advance, right? Either way, it's bad. Man. Next up. Lightsworn. Lightsworn, Lightsworn. We just can't let a good thing die, huh? Konami saw that people stopped playing with these cards in Edison, and they were like, no! No, bring them back! No! All right, what are we working with? Dragon of the Lightsworn. What? We already have a Dragon of the Lightsworn. We've got 2 Dragon of the Lightsworn. It's baby, though. It's baby. If you have a Lightsworn monster in your graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is special summoned, you can send a Lightsworn monster from your deck to the graveyard, except Dragon of Lightsworn. If this card is sent to the graveyard, add a monster with 30 million attack from your deck to your hand. The Punishment Dragon Searcher! Okay, this card's fucking insane. This card's unbelievable. This is... Wow. This card's pretty good. Weiss, Lightsworn Archfiend. Weiss? That's Snow. Hello. Can you do that? I think this is... She became... what is that? What is that? For good? No, I think it's the opposite. I think she's being a double agent. So, for those of you that don't know, the Dark Worlds and the Lightsworn are, like, fighting. They're, like, diametrically opposed. And Snow is in a lot of the cards where she's like, come to me, fucking dog. Snow has become Catholic. Snow is a convert. She keeps decrying Vatican II. We really can't get her to shut the fuck up. She's so annoying now. She's helping the dog. You're just racist, so you thought she's bad. No, sorry. Let me make my intentions clear. I am firmly on the Dark World side of this. I would prefer to know that my queen did not change affiliation without a good reason. Weiss is German for white. Note, Weiss means white. It's really the white woman jump scare. You can place a Lightsworn card from your hand on top of the deck, special summon this card from your hand, then send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. What the fuck? They even fixed Wolf? If this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, target a Lightsworn in your graveyard. Oh my god! This is the craziest card I've ever seen in my life! Wait, what? I mean, Snow is crazy. She's a tuner, too! Holy shit! Here's the lore. Yeah. Okay, wait, hold up. Look how sad Raiko is while he's hanging out with Grapha. But then hanging out with Snow, Raiko's like, oh, I like Snow. But just so you all know, this card on the right is called Dark World Puppet. So, you know. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. Snow is the puppet. Ryko is the mastermind. For sure. All right, new JD. JD plus PD must be special summoned by... Oh. You can even make this. Every single card in here is good. I mean, you have to play Punishment Dragon, and Punishment Dragon's kind of crappy, but, like, whatever. Once per turn, pay 2,000. Banish all cards on the field and in the graveyards. Holy fuck, Lois. Once per turn during the end phase, send the top 4 cards. Yeah. If this card is destroyed by opponent, add a banish JD and PD from your hand, then special both, ignoring their summoning conditions. You probably play this, honestly. Like, you have to play this. Needs one on field. That's fine. Apparently, you can just search JD now. Yeah, the artwork sucks, but that's fine. You're allowed to have bad artwork in Lightsworn. Have you ever looked at Wolf? Oh my god, a new Minerva too. Tuner, non-tuner, it's an 8. If this card is synchro summoned, you can set... Oh god. You can send Lightsworn monsters with different types from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of Lightsworn monsters used as material for this card's summon. So 2. Lightsworn monsters you control can't be banished by card effects, so if you make Enlightenment Dragon, you win. You can banish up to 4 Lightsworns from your grave, send them any cards from the top of your deck to the grave. Wow. That's Chaos Ruler. That is, I mean, obviously it's not Chaos Ruler, but oh man. Oh boy. Holy shit. Lightsworn Aegis. Target face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of Lightsworns you control negate their effects. If this card is sent from the deck to the graveyard, you can set it. Oh! We might play a copy of that, yeah. This is insane, right? Okay, so the thing that might prevent this from being playable is that it's actually only 2 cards. Like, yes, there's 5 cards, and you will play as much of Dragoon of Light Road and Weiss as you can. But the rest of the cards in Lightsworn are just the old Lightsworn cards, right? So you would have to play, like, you'd play, I imagine, 3 Charge, some number of Wolf, like 3/3, Fearless, and then you need, like, some more enablers. Like, outside of these guys, there's actually not a ton of starters for Lightsworn. Like, historically, you know, in the modern era, so like 2016 and beyond, the deck has just played a lot of free 4s and used those to go into Minerva and milled things that are, like, tangentially related to Lightsworn. Testing right now, 3 Raiden, Dragon, Weiss, 2 Lumina, Wolf, 1 Fearless. That sounds like a good package, but that's 9 starters, right? And the starters don't always work. They usually work, but they don't always work. So what irritates me is I feel like you will probably have to play something else in them. Everyone's saying tier. God, I wish it was tier. I don't think it's tier. I think it will be like... I think Horus is a good argument. Bestial Horus Lightsworn. That sounds close. Lithium played it with Bestial. Let's check out Let's check out what Lithium did. Oh, is there one more I missed?
Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a new Lightworn support. Who would have expected this support in...
Okay, so we're playing the one of the Shizus. That makes sense.
What is it, 2024, I guess, whenever we will be getting this. So, a couple of new cards, and I've read the support by an level 4, both top tier back in 2010. It would have made the deck borderline broken, especially for that time. For now, the support is fantastic, but it's not going to make the deck like top tier, the best deck. But there's potential because the cards are kind of fantastic. Again, as I mentioned before, a couple of effect monsters.
You got Mild 2, Fearless Wolf,
which kind of needs both Judgment Dragons, so the light one, and the dark one, you know, the Punishment Dragon. And I was a little bit against those in the main deck in the beginning, but eventually I was like, they are fine, because first of all they're searchable by this one, a new Dragon Lightsworn, level 4, which can extend itself from the hand, a free level 4 on field if you have a Lightsworn.
Oh, wait.
Plus, if you special summon it, doesn't matter how, off of this pattern, for example, or, you know, with this.
Oh my god, he's on Rev Synchron in here?
Burial as well, so it foolishes.
Oh, Dispotter Omega, that's cute.
So again, fantastic. You know,
okay, like this is
level 8 synchro, and
this is good, but it's not crazy.
The other level 4 is Archfiend, which is a tuner, and it also has the capability to special summon itself from hand. And that's quite convenient, because that's something I guess Lightsworn lacked.
They almost had it too. They just didn't have a starter.
So sure about that. You know, you might have seen the combos going around with Synchron, you know, the small Synchron package, level 7
a chill PK package.
It's okay, but it could create some awkward game
oh my god.
where you that,
I was like, this next one I think is a little more realistic. Like FK Diabellstar is a deck you could see, and it looked like they had just ended the turn, but then we hit Kelbeck.
But again, you're just playing into Nibiru if you're not going for you know, Crystal Wing. And Ancient Fairy Dragon, I feel, is not the best because you're not running any field spells. You could play the Pearl Rain.
Hit a Wolf off the Rev Synchron. That's pretty decent.
But I guess you're adding in more bricks to the main deck, so I'm not a huge fan of that. So it kind of makes it.
I don't know. I think Palm. What's his name? Pomni kind of solos this, right?
That's a lot, and you know, with this is without the Synchron package. So I'm like. For me, I think like
Mudora, Shuffleback, Hygarunix.
44 might be the sweet spot, especially because of the Bestial package and also the mills, right? Like Minerva and the other mills. You want to mill your Wolf, your Felice, etc. And
SP target the field spell,
all
yeah.
The Lightsworns trigger when they are milled at random.
That's rough.
As, you know, like Felice, for example.
But we almost got there, right?
It triggers when it's milled by a monster, I think so.
Pomni from the Amazing Digital Circus is my favorite Lightsworn. No, it's a Fire King. Okay. I'm impressed, but you know, I don't think it's gonna end the world or anything. All right, finally, new Melodic Monsters. Refrain of the Melodious Songstress. You can only use the Pendulum effect of this card's name once per turn. You can target a Melodious fusion monster you control, send a Melodious from your deck to the graveyard, and if you do, the targeted monster gains attack equal to the sent monster's level until the end of the turn. Monster effect. If this card is normally special, add a Melodious from your deck to your hand. If a Melodious fusion is special to your field while this card is face up in your extra deck, put this card in your Pendulum zone. This card's insane. Couplet the Melodious Songstress. Cannot pendulum summon monsters except light monsters. If you control no face-up non-melodious monsters, add a Melodious spell trap from your deck to your hand. Sure. If this card is added to your hand except by drawing it for your normal draw, reveal it, special summon a level 4 or lower Melodious monster from your hand or graveyard. What is that there for? If a Melodious Fusion monster is special summoned to your field while it's face up in your extra deck, you can place this card in your Pendulum Zone. If this card is special summoned, you can special summon a Melodious monster from your deck. Your Melodious Fusion monster's effects cannot be negated while you control this Fusion monster card. If this card is sent to the graveyard, target a Melodious monster in your graveyard. Special summon it in defense position. Flowering Etoile, the Melodious Floral Song Goddess. So this one has to be made with a big girl and 2 Melodiouses. Quick effect, you can banish any number of Melodious monsters you control until the end phase, then return that many face-up cards your opponent controls to the hand. If this face-up fusion summon monster in its owner's control leaves the field by your opponent, special a Melodious monster from your deck or extra, except for her. And then Melodious Concerto. Fusion, summon a fairy fusion monster from your extra deck using cards from your hand, field, or pen zone as material. And if a fusion monster is sent to the graveyard while this card is in the graveyard, put this card on the bottom of a deck and draw a card. They're good. The pendulum scales are insane, obviously. The problem is you have to play Melodiouses, and while the new fusion is good, the old fusions are not. The thing with Melodiouses are just that they're annoying. They're hard to get rid of. They're not like super offensively strong. Oh, someone has a replay for me? All right, what are we working with? Put all these back. Okay, just refrain, plus something. Normal refrain, grab couplet, special or set couplet, concerto, fusion summon the new one, set scales, and trigger the couplet to get elegy. Oh, yeah, right. They have a Bloom Harmonist, the Melodious choir composer. I forgot about the Link monster. We send Aria here. We use the effect of the fusion to bring back Aria. We go concerto. Oh, we drew first movement solo. That was pretty good. Wait, so... Okay, we go soprano here. Grab elegy. Pend the elegy. Trigger Shopina. Activate soprano. All 3 of these for the new one. Yeah, I mean, this is annoying as fuck. This is like extremely annoying. End of May nib. I mean, yeah, you do die to nib, of course, but whatever. It's strange because this is not actually any interruptions, right? It looks like there's interruptions because you've, of course, got the bounce off the Flowering Etoile. But if you do that, then you're going to get killed. And they'll just kill you. Yeah, I mean, now the deck has a more consistent way to make the Aria Elegy lock, which is going to be annoying to play against. And they have guys that theoretically do things. So it's probably a playable strategy. I don't think it's going to be tiered. All right, one more. Saphira gains the power of Silent Force. Saphira, the Silent Forcing deity of dragons. If this card is ritual summoned and you have the Silent Force or Disciple on your field or in your graveyard, draw 2 cards, discard a card. When an attack is declared involving your Light Warrior Dragon Ritual monster, discard a random card from your opponent's hand. Add a Light monster from your graveyard. Oh, she gets all the Saphiras. That's the gimmick, is that she's all the Saphiras. And Silent Force Blessing. Target a Silent Force that is banished in your graveyard. Add it to your hand. If a non-ritual is normal or special summoned face up, ritual summon a Light Warrior Dragon or Warrior or Dragon Ritual monster from your hand by triggering monsters from your hand or field. These are fine. I mean, Silent Force is already good. Like, I expect this deck to be playable. And this is another piece in that playable pie.